alone gives me more motivation to go do more things.
Yep. Take that walk.
You never know. You never, ever know. Listen, Sunday night, Frankie called me and goes, I just got my schedule. I'm off Monday. Let's go. We took off down the lake.
Yeah.
That's where them sunset pictures came from.
Oh, just a beautiful place. Tim and I really want to drive there. And I know that just straight 77 thing is gorgeous. I remember going to, what is it, Holmes County, Sugar Creek with Mom and Dad as a kid. I mean, that's just some of the beautiful. And you know, I mentioned about that alternate route on vacation. Is it route or route? Does it? Anyway. But I mentioned that because...
Potato.
Huh?
Potato.
I know, right? But the line and the, you know, the lines of trees that we were driving on, and you could tell we were going through these towns. No one was speeding because they were in fear. You know, there are all these speed traps in Virginia. And we were forced to slow down and take a look. And to the point of, even though you're eager to get back on, you know, the day you're driving home, I would have loved to have done that. I had a rental car, needed it to get back, all that kind of crap. But I would have loved to have taken that route home because it was just so damn beautiful. And it does. You know, I got that sign in my house that says, do something every day that takes your breath away. And I tell people this show does. It takes my breath away to do it. I get on the, you know, you and I start exchanging. I hear your voice and your enthusiasm and everything, and I'm inspired by that. But also, you know, I like to do things like you said, and they're simple things. You don't know what's going to happen. Like you said, you guys are going to just walk around the neighborhood, or you're just going to go to the lake on a whim and that kind of stuff. So, you know, Todd, I have a word that I need to uncover here, and then I'll let us wrap up the show. But, you know, what has happened is from your truth, from your honesty. This show is a very honest show. I'm always upfront and honest as well, but from your truth of your story. You know, it's like you said, look, I didn't ask for this. It's not a journey that I was planning on, but I got it, and you found a way to be very happy with it. What you've done, though, is you've taken that truth and you have put that out to the universe because it's not yours to keep in. I love what you said. There's a greater power, and it might be that story that helps someone, and you just told your story. We take a big chance with truth. You know, what are people going to think? What are they going to say? What's going to happen from that? But from that truth is how we help people. So it's not even up to us anymore at this point with so many people in need. It kind of isn't, we're not allowed to hang on to that because in my world, I am, you know, the universe and love, but I also do believe in the Spirit of God and Jesus. You know, I've told you, Jesus is my brother. He gets me out of trouble all the time. But it's that truth that if you unveil that and you become transparent, that's what I believe when we start working together as human beings and helping one another.
Well, that's one of the biggest things that keeps me in recovery and recovering. And it's not just from drugs and alcohol. It's to get out of bondage yourself. To keep what I have, I got to give it away.
Yeah.
So
wow.
Me talking to others and being available, even for just to bend an ear to somebody, just, you know, one of my friends, you know, somebody that's, you know, people that have been sober as long as I have or in recovery as long as I have or a hell of a lot longer, doesn't make them bulletproof from the situation. They still need to bend an ear. And sometimes I just need someone to listen. You know, we like to, as human beings, especially men, like to self-internalize everything and think we got a cape on and we're not. You know, I'm a very, very sensitive person now. It's amazing. I used to not be. I used to be like a rock. You couldn't get me to budge at, you know, somebody's, you know, funeral closest to, I mean, nothing. I'm like, well, on to the next one. Shit. That's how it was. It was just, well, that's how everybody lives, everybody dies. It was that simple. And it's not. And it's okay to grieve, and it's okay to feel sad. It's okay to watch a movie and weep. But listen, I just watched The Stars Born for like the 8th time.
Yeah.
And there's 2 parts in that movie that I cannot hold it together. And it's just the way it is. So I just let it fly. I don't even like try to hold it back. And it's fun. At the end all be all, it's fun. It's sharing experiences with others or yourself or with God, however you want to put it. But the minute you try to hold in all this pressure, it's like a pressure cooker waiting for that little thing on the top to start flicking around. It's no fun to live that way. I lived that way. I've been that way, and it drove me to places that I could not stand myself, even worse after the fact.
Right. Yeah, and I will tell you that, and I understand the persona of men and how they're supposed to be pillars of strength and such. But, women, that's, I believe, what's partly wrong with our country as well, or the universe. I keep talking about the United States. You and I are speaking to some folks across the world. I think that
Right.
is that's what the 80s and 90s did to us. That we were supposed to be tougher as women, badass, not quite as feminine. There's still the feminine woman out there, and she fights for it, and there's feminine clothing and things like that. But we were suddenly made to be this tough-ass, badass, and we can get through it kind of thing, and I think that's awesome. That's a great balance. On the other hand, something you said very early on is this whole, I'm happy. How to be happy. What's happiness? How do I get there? What do I do? Now, God gave us that, and that's perfect, and it's harmonious, and you know when you're having a happy moment. But also, He gave us anger, sadness, grief, sorrow, compassion, empathy. That's what completes us and sets us apart as human beings. From other living works on the planet. So we need to embrace those, not try and drown those in and I speak present company included, to drown those ever in anything, talking about myself, drowning those with any kind of substance that isn't real. I cry my eyes out. I always will, whether it's an extremely happy if it's a happy moment, if it's a sad moment, I cry when but that is, I got to get that out. And if we hold that in, that's when we start becoming unhealthy. And I know that that's what I was going through. I had a friend over years ago when I first bought this house, and I'd never been with her one-on-one to dinner or anything. But we were friends on Facebook, and I was saying, I'm on my own. I'm right here in the Akron area. Why don't you come over? And I had no idea what was going to happen from that. Do you know, Todd, the entire evening was her just spilling, talking to me. Just unloading, feeling like she could talk to me, feeling that comfort of being able to open up and talk to me on a level. And I looked at her and I said, I got to ask you a question, and I got to make sure you know something. I'm in a really sad state, but I'm hearing you and you're sharing your strife and your sorrows with me. Did you want me to, I asked her, did you want me to respond to that with advice, or are you just looking for a shoulder? And she said both. I see you as that kind of person, and I felt like I could do that. And it was a situation where she was talking, it was about her and her husband, and she was frustrated with different things. And I said, above all, go for a while without thinking divorce is an option. It's not. Try and see, go back to that place where you were when you first fell in love and see if that works. If that doesn't, then you can look at those other options. But a bump in the road, we're so quick to fix. And I know me, I shut down. And it's not good. But it was really something to be in that situation with her and have her open up like that. And I didn't have any idea, Todd, what the evening was going to become. And here she needed a person to talk to, and I would have never saw that, is my point. Looked like she has it
Very
together,
cool.
most beautiful home, big ol' acreage, all this stuff going on, very wealthy. I knew this going in, and it was just a really, really sweet visit. We never know.
Very cool.
What do you got to wrap up the show? Tell me about Hope United, anything you're doing. I'm going to, of course, tag the show and all that good stuff, but what do you got for me? What do you want people to know in about 30, 60 seconds or less?
Go to hopeunited.com, nowwefightforyou.com, Hope United on Facebook. There is a donation page. They are still a little short of the expected goal to do the complete building. They're going to go ahead and try to get things started because it's just such a wonderful thing that they're doing. It's not just it's going to have individual group counseling, a rainforest setup, library with actual books in it. It's just an amazing aspect. It's going to have intense outpatient treatments in it. And like I said, this organization is just a wonderful, wonderful avenue. And the most amazing thing about this, and all the people affiliated with it, a lot of these people don't have to do this anymore. Their fight's over.
Yeah.
And they didn't have to do this, and they're fighting for others, and they're out there doing this thing to care about and to help others get more adjusted to life, to get, they're having everything from cooking classes in there and all kinds of stuff because a lot of these people are kids having kids.
Yeah.
Children having children, and they don't know how to balance a checkbook, anything of that nature. It's just a beautiful place. And it's going to be amazing once it's completed. But like I said, go to Hope United on Facebook. You can go to Hope United online. nowwefightforyou.com. And they just have easy step-through process to do whatever, follow their story, my story, other stories, however you want to view it. And listen, it's supposed to be a beautiful day today. If you would just walk by somebody and smile and make them smile back, you might have just made their whole day because you don't know what they're going through.
Oh, Todd, thank you so
Keep
much.
it simple.
Keep it simple. I like that. And you know what, you guys, Todd is not a doctor and he doesn't play one on TV. However, it is possible. I will tag him in sharing this. If there's just anything you might like to ask him, he can certainly put you in touch with the right people. Or maybe you just want to write him a note and see. I'm getting chills just even saying this. But if you need somebody, you're not alone. There's a lot of people going through stuff that are out there, whether, maybe it's just simple stuff about, the terrible, terrible disease of anxiety and how to work through those things. And maybe you have anxiety and you are on meds and that's what's helping you get better. But at the same time, there might be some other internal things that maybe you can confidentially want to talk to with Todd, because he certainly is all about that. He's very confidential in his stories. He would never share or anything about that. So please, please, please reach out if you need some help. Okay? All right, guys, here we go. It is the Bev D Show. My name is Bev. You were just listening to Todd Rossiter, an amazing human being out there trying to do the good for others. Like he said, smile at somebody, make eye contact, give them a nice big grin. That you never know, you could change their life. Hey, if you're afraid and it's a good thing and you're afraid to do it anyways. We call that courage. And by the way, and most of all, look, if you're lonely, if you're feeling unloved, just remember, we love you. Have a great day.
Walk with love. Have a great day, everyone.
Thanks, Todd. Bye.